Thank you for coming over the bridge to beautiful, sunny Palm City. My name is Ed Campy. I have the honor and the pleasure of being the chairman of the board of the Martin County Commission, and I'd like to welcome you all. I'm excited to be here for several reasons. Any of you that are familiar with our history here in Palm City, this building sort of had its ups and its downs. There were times where there was even a conversation that maybe it would have been easier to tear it down. And we changed that strategy, and Kevin Abate and his team and others on the county staff, we said, all right, if we're not going to tear it down, what can we do? How should we do it? And basically we did a complete overhaul. Everything from the air conditioning to the electrical to the plumbing, all the windows. We took out a couple of building additions that had been added on in years past, revamped it. And I'll tell you all, the exciting news is that this is really just an additional phase of a multi-phase project that we are launched here at Charlie Layton Park. It is an area for residents in Palm City or residents in the county that don't have really any kind of access to the waterfront or the river. This is a spot here that we have that. And it's been a soccer field for a long, long time. And it's also been the home of the Treasure Coast Rowing Club, which is on the southern side of the property. However, it really wasn't used at its highest and best use as an intermittent soccer field. We, as the Board of County Commissioners, have a policy where we do not eliminate recreational field space. So until we could come up with another location to relocate the use for the children and adults that use the field for soccer to Justin Wilson Park through a reconfiguration, we now have a grand plan for this space, leaving it as green space, however, adding a bandstand and some stub outs for food trucks, and sort of reconfiguring the waterfront with some recycled Adirondack chairs and picnic tables so that residents can come and enjoy this beautiful waterfront view and just the feel of it. We're going to reconfigure the parking lot to create both additional boat trailer spaces, but also parking spaces so that the whole footprint here can be used more universally than just the boat ramp. And for many residents on this side of the county, this is the closest boat ramp for them. So we really have some grand plans. As you were coming in and as you're leaving, if you look on just outside of this facility, we completely tore down and reconstructed our restroom facilities, modernized them, made them sort of bulletproof from vandals, which sadly is a thing we have to take into consideration. But I think it turned out beautiful. It allows the folks that are using the park but not necessarily using this building to have an opportunity for restroom space. And so with that, I had an opportunity to speak to Sandy Thurlow, who everyone knows is our Martin County historian, and she gave me just a brief history of this location. Now, most of you think, wow, the building's pretty old, but Sandy told me the original building at this site was built in 1915, and it was the Palm Villa Hotel, and it was the Palm Villa Hotel for quite a while until it was destroyed in a hurricane. Then it was rebuilt on this site using this slab by a gentleman who used it as a boat maintenance shed and a mechanic shop and a residence. And then many years later, the county purchased it wisely. And I know the property originally was in the Layton family. Charlie Layton is, a lot of people confuse the Layton parks in Palm City. Charlie Layton Park is right here. Jock Layton Park is a little further south on Map Road. And so we could not be more happy. And then, as sort of a tenant, if you will, as someone to utilize this space, not just for community events, but also to be sort of a guardian of the facility, and so that it's not just another beautiful asset in the inventory that is Parks and Rec. We, just coming up on a year, negotiated a contract with the Palm City Chamber of Commerce. They occupy this space right here in the corner, about 325 square feet, so that there's always a presence here for people to come and go. It's used for community events that the chamber puts on, but it's also in the inventory, and you can go to Martin County's website or contact the Parks and Rec Department and utilize this space that has state-of-the-art AV and acoustics and a warming kitchen and facility for meetings or parties, showers or christenings. It's a beautiful facility right on the river, plenty of parking. And so that's my little pitch for using this space if you need be. It can hold up to 100 people. The chairs and the tables are part of the rental agreement. And so it's a beautiful spot for, you don't have to just be a Palm City resident to use it, though we prefer that. No, it's available for anybody in the county to come and utilize this space. And there are several. I know that Port Salerno has a beautiful community center as well. People get married in it. So with that, now I will turn it over to our friend and the boss, Mr. Don Donaldson.
Thank you, Commissioner, and thank you for everybody for showing up to this this event. You know, it has been a long time coming, and I remember when it was in decrepit shape, and the park has had a lot of remarkable events here. Certainly partnering with the rowing club for a long time, and the boat ramp is a heavily used facility. In fact, one of my first projects I remember when I was hired by the county was working on getting it dredged to allow better access. But in any event, I think the Parks and Rec has been doing a great job of renovating our facilities. It's a very important for our, not only our community, but our board has prioritized bringing our parks up to a better standard. And as Kevin has taught me, it's about the experiences that we provide the people. It all starts with parks, right? So, but in any event, with that, we have a large support from all of our departments that really make this happen, and Kevin will speak to that to some degree. But you know, this program addresses the overall facility conditions of building within parks. To accomplish this each year, we address maintenance and improvement needs for different buildings. And in fact, tomorrow we'll be talking about some of this in our CIP and continuing that trend of basically maintaining what we own, fixing it up and making it better, and this is just a great example of that. I know we had discussions about when it was, do we tear it down and start over, or fix what we have, and Kevin, you and your team and everybody involved has done a remarkable job of bringing it up to a really great community center. And I appreciate you bringing up some of my splatterings of community events that I had here in the past, representing Public Works and talking to people about some things they may have not always liked. So, but in any event, Kevin, why don't you come up and talk to everybody about some of the great people involved in the project.
Thank you, Don. Kevin Abate, Parks Director. This is a great project. There were a lot of staff involved. It took about 3 years to do this project, and when Commissioner Camp and I had the discussion about tearing it down or renovating as is, as a part of a larger discussion with the entire park system, I think that was the wise choice. And obviously what you see here and behind me is the before and after pictures are nothing short of phenomenal. And the biggest thing about what we've done for the community is now we have a nice rentable space. We have a tenant, the chamber, the Palm City Chamber here, that they're here all the time. And so when people walk in, they can do tours, and it will help us bring more of an attraction to this building. So we also had several departments involved from Public Works, who did some of the landscaping on the outside. Carly Bates came up with a plan for us. And then General Services, Sonny Sensic, did the air conditioning system. And then from our parks operations standpoint, Chandler Dooley, Steve Monteith, and Jamie Eberhardt were part of the operations team. But there's one person that stood through this entire 3+ year project, and I told him it would be a difficult one. The renovations are a little bit more, actually a lot more complicated than a new construction project, because you're always running to something new. And that's precisely what happened here with this project. But Sean Brady, where are you, Sean? Yeah, stand up, yeah. So So Sean, when we hired him, I said I have a very complicated project for you. It'll probably take 5 years, and he really dealt with every single one of these general contractors on his own. And it was a long road, and just we were building up funding over many budget cycles to get it done. When Kevin got here a year ago, we started working on. We were already into it, but we started firming up the final site master plan for the entire park. And so the park second phase that we're going to be working on, or the third phase, because the restroom was the second phase, is the ball fields being removed, adding the pavilions, and hopefully we'll have that bid out this summer. And it'll be a great community asset to have a park on the river with the Adirondack chairs and the community center, and I think it just gets better and better as we go. So I want to thank everyone that was involved in this project. Again, Sean, I cannot thank you for your hard work. I'm sure everyone's thrilled with the final result and product, but thank you again for all your hard work. Thank you.
Okay, so that's it. We're going to, if you've heard me say in the past, normally the elected officials, we get to be here for the gold shovels and the big scissors. But all the hard work, all of the weeks, and in this case, years of effort to sort of save what was here and reimagine it and have it be as nice as it is. I know that most often the names that Kevin mentioned, all of those subs and contractors and our staff, they don't get the credit that they deserve. They don't get the spotlight. So let's just give all of those people that worked on this another round of applause. And like Don and Kevin both said, this is just the beginning. We will have you all hopefully come out here again in the fall or the spring of next year, and what we have planned here will be remarkable. It'll be another reason to love where you live, and it'll be another jewel in the crown that is Parks and Rec. With that, I'd ask my colleagues on the commission and anybody else that took part in doing this project to come up. We have a gigantic pair of scissors. 1, 2, 3.